Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Sunday, the 3rd of July 2022. Being a Sunday, there's not a lot going on, so this is going to be a very short video, so let's get on with it. So we got this from Gary Rowett, brought to us by the londonnewsonline.co.uk, South London Press's online website, and it says, Millwall boss admits he feared striker deal had slipped away. Instead, it was double delight as whole midfield arrived too. So it's more from Gary Rowett on the signing of Afobe. So let's have a read of this. What's cracking on here? Is this stuff we've already heard, or are we going to find some new stuff out now? So Gary Rowett has revealed that Afobe turned down attractive championship options to seal his Millwall return earlier this week. The 29-year-old striker scored 13 goals in all competitions for the Lions last season before returning to parent club Stoke City. And Afobe's exploits for the South London club look to have landed him a switch to Club Bruges, only for the transfer to collapse over the weekend. Millwall moved quickly to secure the former Arsenal, Bournemouth and Wolves forward on a permanent deal until next summer. Lions boss Rowett admitted he thought they had lost out on the services of Afobe. I'd been in discussion with Bennett for a little bit about the potential to come back, Rowett told the South London Press. At one stage we thought it was very close to a similar deal to last season. There was interest from other clubs in the Championship, very good clubs. And then all of a sudden the European option became quite live. Bennett let me know where it was at. It was a very exciting opportunity for him. Everybody kind of accepted that was going to happen, and for 3 or 4 days we moved on to looking at other options. But then it came back on quite quickly. There was a real desire from both parties to get a deal and get it done. Bennett was adamant that when one deal broke down, then that was the place he wanted to come back. It's very rare to get a club that thinks so highly of you. He's so confident of getting the best out of you and has spent so much time with you over the years. Sometimes that goes a long way, as well as the size of the club. We wanted to tie up quickly because other clubs, before other clubs started jumping in. It was quite simple in the end because we all wanted the same thing, which was for Bennett to come back. You can see from the other players' reactions that it's a brilliant deal to get him back. My belief is he will be stronger again this season for last year's involvement with us. 9 of Afobe's goals in the 21-22 season came after January the 1st, and he seemed to grow in stature as he chained together the minutes. It helped that he was working again under Rowett, who took him to Stoke in June 2018. That loan deal had an obligation to purchase for a reported £12 million fee in the following transfer window. I spoke to Bennett towards the end of last season and told him, I look at your ability, character, personality and confidence. My expectation is that you're a 15-20 goals a season scorer, said the Millwall boss. But what you perhaps underestimate is the impact on confidence of not scoring those goals for a few years. It probably did take him a little bit of time to settle again and get that feeling back. You saw that with some little bits of skill towards the end of the season. I think it was the Barnsley game where he did the little drag back and back heel for Scotty Malone to cross it in for Danny McNamara to score. There are very few strikers in this division who have his finishing ability. My job is to get that out of him all the time because I know he can do it. So why would I settle for 13 goals when I believe he can score more than that? He's better here in a relaxed environment where he can play with confidence. The goal scorer needs chances, and the aim for all our strikers is they need to create more for each other. The midfield need to create more for the strikers. Having been here for a season and then come back again, it means players understand the runs you like to make. If there is a negative to Afobe's move, it will be that he will be a free agent at the start of July 2023. We've got aspirations and we have to do whatever deals we can for the here and now. Then we've got deals like Zion Fleming that are for the long term. We have to find the right balance, said Rowett. We're not going to worry about next season before we have even started this one. That's interesting. So obviously Afobe, he's not coming cheap. So maybe the reason why it's a 12-month deal, because it probably suits both sides. And can Millwall actually commit to spending that much money over the next 3 years? Because literally, once you've signed the deal's done. You've got to pay that money, and that's a lot of money. So if it's just over the next year, they go, okay, this is how much we have to pay him in wages, blah blah blah. We can afford that. If it was 3 years and you're thinking, okay, well, we can afford this year, but after that, then what? So why not just make it a year? Millwall made it a double swoop as they landed George Honeyman. Honeymoon? Autocorrect there on the article there. Hull C had taken up a 12-month contract extension earlier in the close season, but the 27-year-old midfielder still made the move to SC16 for an undisclosed fee. Both additions flew out to the Lions training camp in Ireland. He brings a lot of good attributes to the team, said Rowett. George is a running, attacking midfielder, whether that is a 10 or as an 8. He's got energy and he presses really, really well. He works incredibly hard for the team, but he also makes some brilliant runs into the box and arrives really well. There are a number of positions he can play, just like someone like Zion Fleming, who can play as a 10 or higher up as a striker. You need those options, but also it's about having different types of players in the same position. George is a player I've admired for quite a while. He's got great desire and looks like a winner on the pitch. I've spoken to quite a few people about George and they all said he's a great guy. He's been a fabulous player for Hull and captained their side on a number of occasions. For me, it was a no-brainer. When we found out there was a chance he could be available, then we didn't hesitate to explore it. George had a desire to be a part of something where he felt he could improve himself and contribute massively to the team. It all fitted nicely into place. Well, he hasn't played a game yet, so we know what we're getting with Afobe. We assume we know what we're getting with George Honeyman, but we don't. Who's in your 11? Who are you going to start? If we're playing the same formation we played last season, who's starting? And where are they playing? Will we get a lot of chopping and changing? Well, we know we've got 5 substitutions allowable next season. I imagine there will be a lot of change, especially day to day in terms of match time. How many players will be playing full 90 minutes? And will they get pissed off with that? Will they get annoyed with that? Or will they understand it's a marathon, not a sprint? We're trying to win something over the season. It doesn't really matter if you get 90 minutes in this match or 70 minutes. Just think about what that medal at the end of the season that you're going to be winning. So just focus on that and don't be worried about getting substituted off. But yeah, interesting stuff there from Gary Rowett. So moving on to the final story. This is from a website called MOT Leeds News. I have no idea what that means. And it seems to be a Leeds fan website. So what are they saying? So this was put up today, tonight. Leeds United ace Charlie Cresswell to undergo medical in the next 48 hours for Millwall loan. So yeah, I'm not going to read it all out, but it says here. So this is from The Athletic, which is obviously behind a paywall. I'm not paying for it, so I have to wait for other publications to repeat it. And they are saying that. So they say over the next 48 hours, but it says here Cresswell is expected to undergo a medical with the Lions on Monday, July the 4th, for putting pen to paper on a temporary deal at the new Den. So he's apparently possibly signing tomorrow. So there you go. Another signing tomorrow. Keep an eye out for that. Hopefully if the medical goes through. And yeah, more signings. Apparently there's more coming as well. It looks to be a massive summer, doesn't it, with all these signings? But expectations have been raised. Mine have. What about yours? Like I said, they haven't even kicked the ball yet, and we're going to see them on Saturday against Crystal Palace. That's being behind closed doors, but it's being broadcast, so we'll see. I imagine we'll have 2 different teams in 2 different halves, but they normally do that the first game back. So that probably won't really tell us anything, but it might tell us some things about certain players, the new players, and what we can expect. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.